going to do a classic chalk talk with Guy, run through about the dozen competitive Senate races, ask you to identify where the Democratic path to victory is in each. Let's start in the state, as you said, you know well, Colorado. You won a hard-fought campaign there with Michael Bennet. How does Mark Udall, the Democratic incumbent, win against Cory Gardner there?
Two important things. Yeah. First off is that it's the first time everybody gets a ballot in the mail. Yeah. Better for Democrats when we have more voters win. And the bottom line is Cory Gardner's extreme on women. Women in the suburbs of Denver are going to
very quickly. How much will turnout increase with the mail ballot?
I think we'll probably be over 2 million, so quite a bit.
Okay. Next state, Arkansas.
There it is. Mark Pryor, the incumbent, Tom Cotton, giving him a challenge. This is a race you guys, a lot of people think is pretty much gone. Tell us why it's not.
We've registered 95,000 new African Americans in Little Rock, Pine Bluff, all along the western part of the state. We think we're going to be successful by increasing their turnout. And Bill Clinton's all over the state, which has been great for the entire ticket.
95,000 new African-American voters.
95,000 new.
How many people vote in the state?
We're hoping that it will increase by about 5% over 2010 and maybe get within 90% of 2012.
So this is not gone?
No,
absolutely not. Going to see President Clinton back there again before Election Day?
I hope so.
All right, Louisiana. Now, this is a complicated one because Mary Landrieu, Bill Cassidy, Rob Maness, three-way. No one's going to get a majority on Election Day, right? This goes overtime?
Look, I do think we have a chance to hit 50. In fact, if you looked at the early vote numbers today, the African-American vote during the early vote, highest it's ever been. And unlike what most people think, we have the largest number of African Americans registered, over 900,000 more than pre-Katrina.
Where do you have this race now? Where do you have your candidate?
We have us up at about 47%, and we're trying to get it to 50.
Okay.
And what can you do? What can you actively do in the next few days to help her?
Look, number one is turnout. It's all about turnout, especially in this part of the state.
It's all about that base.
It is. It's all about. I'm not going to do the air guitar, but I'll let you guys handle that.
It's all about that base. Okay. Up to Alaska now. Guy, I once asked you whether there was a weirder Senate race just in terms of the complexities of the dynamics that you'd ever seen in this race. You said, no, this is the strangest. Talk about why it's strange and how Mark Begich can win.
Well, it's strange, and we're going to win because we are going to turn out some of the most disenfranchised people in our country. In fact, our office, we have an office here. We have
That's practically in Russia.
You don't have, yeah, exactly. We can see, actually.
You can see Russia from your campaign headquarters.
Exactly. There's an island about 200 miles off the coast of Anchorage where we have an office. We are going to turn out the native vote. It's going to be the highest level, bigger than the presidential
What's
election.
the name of the office, the town where the office is?
The Arctic Circle office.
No, come on, really? That's what you call it? The Arctic?
How many people actually work there?
Well, one. In that office, one.
No, I mean in total from the DS. I mean,
we've got about 150 full-time staff and about another 600 canvassers and part-time staff.
And the Republicans matched you in the ground game?
Not even close.
And how important is the third-party candidate up there?
I think it's going to be pretty important. Look, a lot of these races, we expect the third-party candidate to get 3 to 5 points.
But helpful to you and not helpful to them?
Helpful to us, yeah.
All right, move on. North Carolina. This is a race. The conventional wisdom is it's gotten closer in the last 10 days or so. Do you agree with that?
No. I mean, our polls have basically stayed 4 or 5 points over the course of the last 6 weeks. She's had a steady and persistent lead throughout the last 6 months, really.
And to the extent that you're going to win this, which I know you think you are, it's education is a big issue for you. Where do you get your vote?
Well, look, this is the exact reason I talked to you about the president before. Education is the #2 issue in this state, unlike any other state in the country, because people care about the issues and not just about who is the president. And I think this is a great example of, again, this is the emerging coalition of the Democratic Party. Hispanics, African Americans, young
people,
women.
Single women. This guy, the pizza delivery guy, does he help you or hurt you?
Actually, he takes from both. We lead in the 2- and the 3-way ballot in most public and private.
All right, let's move on to Iowa.
Right, this is a race that we've been talking about a lot on the show the last couple of days. There's a lot of news going on out there. It seems like a lot of people in political circles think this is now Joni Ernst's race to lose, although there's no doubt it's really super close, right? So how does Braley manage to win, given that the momentum seems to be with her?
Well, let me dispel of one thing that I heard from the previous segment, which is on early vote. We are dominating people that did not vote in 2010. Right now, we have a 22-point lead with people that did not turn out in 2010 but are turning out today. All of the Republican vote are people that voted in 2010.
Well, but they're
not expanding the election.
But they're banking them early. They can then focus on
other voters. But the vote still
voters.
counts the same.
Well, but they can now focus on trying to get other people and having banked those votes.
Right, but we get to do both. We get to bank the 2010 votes and bank the non-2010 votes, and I think it's going to make a difference.
So just to review, so far you think you're going to win Colorado, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alaska, North Carolina, and Iowa. You're going to win all of them.
I think we're going to win them all.
Okay, that's all right. That's good. That establishes your credibility with us.
And on election night, what should we be looking for in this very close? You can see this is going to be a very close race, right?
Of course.
So
absolutely.
Where should we be looking for the vote on election night to know whether Braley's going to actually pull this out?
Well, look, in classic Iowa fashion, you get to the eastern part of the state, it tends to be more Democratic. You get to the western part of the state, it tends to be more Republican. Where we're going to win it are in the mid-level towns, college towns, towns right below the population.
There's been some reporting that in the eastern part of the state where he's from, his district is from, that he's behind in some polling. Is that true?
We have him ahead in his district, and we have him ahead most of the east and in Des Moines.
We're going to move forward to New Hampshire because we got a lot still to go. Gene Shaheen, Scott Brown, you guys have had a lead here. Have you lost any of your lead, or you still think you're as ahead as 3, 4, 5 points?
Our last internal poll had us up 5 points, and Shaheen has never been below 50.
Any way she can lose this race?
Well, there's a way you can lose any race, but we think she's going to win.
Did you watch her debate performance yet?
I did. I thought she did great.
Thought she did great. How about when she was asked if she approved of the president's job performance and said in some ways yes, some way no?
Well, I think that's an honest answer.
Good answer.
I mean, I don't think anybody agrees with everybody all of the time.
This is all about independence, right?
Yes.
In this state?
Yes.
And does Scott Brown have appeal to independence?
I think Gene Shaheen has a stronger appeal to independence.
Another one you're going to win, apparently.
Let's get to South Dakota,
Your
which is
favorite.
We've so far done all Democratic states where Democrats stand to lose if they lose. Here's South Dakota. This is a complicated race. You guys decided to throw $1 million into this race a week or so ago. Has that $1 million paid off? Are you actually optimistic about this, or is that going to look like a flyer when this is all over?
No, I think the fact of the matter is, one, it's a four-way race, and number two, rounds is within single digits. Sorry, Wyland is within single digits.
Republicans put out a poll they claim showed rounds with a big lead again.
I would pretty much guarantee that Republican poll is wrong.
Are you still in the field there yourself?
Yes.
And you'll be straight through to the end?
All the way through the end. And we're on the air all the way through the end.
And do you care whether Wyland or Pressler wins?
We want Wyland to win.
Did you mind if Pressler won?
No, we'd prefer Wyland.
Would Harry Reid prefer Wyland?
We definitely want
Would Harry Reid prefer Wyland?
Wyland.
Last Democratic-held seat, I know you're going to laugh when we talked about in the first segment, Al Franken in Minnesota.
Yes.
Any chance he loses?
No.
No chance. We can move on. Okay. Fine. Georgia.
Yeah.
Michelle Nunn. Yeah. This is one where I think you might be right.
Yes.
She's got a real chance.
See, look at that.
This guy has been caught talking about being an outsourcer.
David Perdue, you mean?
David Perdue, the Republican. You're registering a lot of African Americans there, as in Arkansas.
Yep.
What does Michelle Nunn need to do in the last week plus to close it out?
We got to make sure we maximize our vote in Atlanta, suburbs, and city, and South Georgia. I think we're going to outperform what most Democrats have over the course of the last 2 or 3 cycles.
African Americans?
Both.
Is the mayor helping her?
Absolutely.
Does President Obama being on African American radio there help her?
Look, I think anything to turn out the African American vote is pretty helpful.
Is there a way she could win on election night, or is this destined for a runoff?
Sure. In fact, there was a public poll out today that had her at 47%.
Where do you have her?
Well, around 46, 47%.
And is the governor's race impacting you at all?
No.
No. All right. Okay. Kansas, another one you love so much.
Yeah.
Pat Roberts against an independent Greg Orman. Are you spending any money there?
We're not.
Not a dollar?
We're not.
Not a dime?
No.
And are you even polling there?
No.
So you're just flying blind? No idea?
Yeah, look, there's no Democrat on the ballot.
Yeah.
We see what the public polls show, which is that essentially it's a tied race. Maybe Orman's up a couple of points.
Okay, last one
real quick. We're going to watch the
Last
race.
one real quick. Kentucky, you were out. You're back in.
Yep.
Explain that, first
Why'd
of
you
all.
go back in?
Sure. Well,
why out and why back in?
One, on the day that it was reported that we were out, we sent them $400,000.
TV is TV.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We actually were outspent by less on the week we were off TV than the week that the DSCC was on TV.
Why are you back in? We got 30 seconds. Why are you back in?
Because it's almost a tied race. Yeah. Pretty simple. He's the most unpopular Republican senator anywhere in the country.
Is this a toss-up, or you're predicting a win here too?
I think it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
We're gonna maximize the vote in Louisville, and we're gonna make sure that those undecideds who do not like McConnell, have no reason to like McConnell, like Grimes.
When you took your money out, did Bill Clinton call you up and say, "Hey, put that money back"?
He did not.
Okay.
He did not.